So, how may I help you?
So, what can I help you with?
There is another guest I want you to investigate, Darren Andretti. On many regards, he was one of the most interesting guests we've had. But because of messy circumstances, I couldn't make a proper debrief with him.
I'm curious to hear what you mean by messy circumstances.
One night he became so badly drunk he began throwing insults at the books, us, and our mother. While the experience was very enriching from a vocabulary standpoint, we ultimately had to stop him before he blew up the entire bibliographies with C4.
Oh my god. How did that end up?
Well, he ended up being banned from this place. One of the rare times we had to resort to banishment. We feared he'd come back at us with a vengeance, so we confiscated a lot of his explosives and left him with but a few weapons. So the fact that he might reach the closest community, we offered him some valuables to somewhat compensate the prejudice.
Well, that is exceedingly kind of you. What kind of books did he want to destroy?
Economy, social studies, cognitive sciences, cybernetics. It barely made sense to us, but it looked like he knew exactly what he was doing. Picked books in separate shelves, rounded them up, packed them with C4.
Huh, was he trying to destroy references to a specific thing? Who was he?
A prospector, a raider, we were never quite sure on which side he was walking. What we did realize, however, is that he is extremely eager to educate himself and learn to read and write. We were all surprised by his sudden burning passion for literature, except Helena. For some reason, she hasn't the right to disclose that information to us.
Okay, so I guess I'm to find his room and find traces of something there?
For all I know, he began keeping some kind of diary during his sojourn here. He said it was good writing exercise for him. Finding it could be a start. I will give you the key. He threw it at my face instead of giving it back to Roland.
Well, it's probably good that you held on to it. Besides his room, any other possible lead?
He liked to take long walks throughout the whole facility, and outside as well. He also spent a lot of time with Helena. She won't tell me much. God knows I asked her to talk about him. She wouldn't answer. Patient-therapist confidentiality.
Okay, well, I'm on it.
And for this, you are to be commended and rewarded.
Thanks, I appreciate that. Alright, I'll be going.
See you around.
Uh-huh, thanks. I'll look into this. Alright, I guess I'll look into this guy.
With some effort, you succeed in pushing the lid of this crate just enough to see its content. Countless empty bottles randomly piled up here for some ulterior recycling. Despite your best efforts to find bottle caps in this mess, there is none to be found. Where did they put those?
Okay, that's weird. Only someone who has been out in the wasteland would know to take the bottle caps. So that means none of the robots in here could have done it. Unless... Hey, Roland?
Back for more? Remember, I don't need to sleep. I can do this all day.
Uh-huh. By any chance, anything you might tell me about that Darren Andretti guy?
Oh, sure. I knew from the first second this guy was bad news. Just like you, as a matter of fact. So I gave him a well-deserved hard time. He didn't even seem to mind that much, though. Isn't that interesting? No man with a clear conscience can put up with little old me.
Yeah, well... You seem to give everyone a hard time. And I'll probably regret asking this, but what kind of hard time?
Surprise visits, my man. I'd knock on the door in the middle of the night and ask him what time it was. And then when he just began answering, I'm like, it's surprise visit time! And every goddamn time, he'd open the door and let me inspect the room, and that's how I knew he was up to no good. Anybody normal wouldn't have put up with this. In the end, he didn't even answer what time it was anymore. He would just mumble, Surprise visit time. Bleh. And let me in. What a fool.
Okay, you're right. He's probably hiding something. Could you please mind that I don't put up with your shit?
Yeah, well, you're no saint either, my man. You tracked mud in here and you smell like shit. I mean, every bot in here has a smell sensitivity 1,000 times higher than a mere human, but they're too polite to say anything. Well, not me.
Then you're admitting you're the one with the oversensitive nose. How is it you're so inclined to answer my question this time?
Well, I just love to brag.
You know what? I think it's because you like the Brotherhood guys, but you didn't like this guy. Did you notice something unusual when you went to his room?
I remember that one time he didn't answer the door right away. I heard a very loud noise, and then a bump. The whole thing was muzzled by the door, so I couldn't quite make out what it was.
You are a terrible inspector. I guess I'll work with that. I'm surprised to say this, but you've been helpful.
Well, of course I've been helpful. I'm a gift from the heavens, after all.
I found a large quantity of opened bottles. By any chance, do you know where their caps are?
I'll give you humans this. I'm jealous of that whole disappointed look down and shake your head emote when another of your species is doing something utterly pathetic, like rummaging through another person's trash. I wish I could do that. If I was human, I'd be doing that to you right now.
Oh my god. Why don't you just tell me where you put all those caps?
Only if you tell me what you intend to do with them.
Fine. I intend to use it as money. Outside, it's used as a currency.
Ha! No shit! You use trash as money? How about you give me something of actual value if you want me to share some sweet info with you? How about this? I propose a game. You give me a weapon repair kit, and I'll give you the first hint, which might lead you to where the caps are.
My inner voice tells me not to engage in a game you took the time to prepare.
Alright, let's be honest here. You humans deep down always know better, but you always choose to do the wrong thing anyways. Oh yeah, I know all about it. Besides, this isn't about how clever you are, it's about how foolish you can be.
Fine, here's your weapon repair kit. So where are the caps?
Excellent. So yeah, that little hint. It's time to drop the kids off at the pool. It's time to go build a log cabin. It's time to go make a deposit at the porcelain bank. You get me?
Oh my god, it's in one of the bathrooms. Alright, bye.
Come back soon.
I will find those caps. They're in one of the bathrooms. But which one? Oh, well, here's a tape.
Good. Now we both know just how low you're ready to go for some money. Now let's see how high you can get.
Huh. Okay. Maybe on top of one of the bookcases? I gotta check this guy's room. Okay, it's this one. Let me see. Oh, whoa. Lots of paper in here.
A very uneasy hand laid down quantities of letters on the paper. Till the end of the sheet.
Oh, he must have actually been learning how to write.
I carefully writing my thoughts as they come. By writing, I ensure that what I am learning stays anchored in my mind. So I write again and again and again. Shoo! I can't get this right.
Oh, I don't know where he's hiding, but this is so cute.
This page is one of the numerous sheets Darren used to practice his writing. Something on the page catches your attention anyway. In a corner, Darren wrote A plus 1 equals B.
Wait, that's odd.
Had the weirdest dream last night. Dad was here, looking at me through his broken glasses, nodding on the occasion. My head was covered with a myriad of small windows. They were encrusted in my skin and opened all the time. I was afraid my brain would pour out, so I tried to close them all, yet they always bursted open afterwards. My mom came in to help me pick up the bits of brains that fell on the floor. Somehow, between the time she took them and stuffed them back in my head, they turned into sheets of paper. I asked her why she was doing that, but I couldn't utter a single word. She handed me her backpack and some kind of plasma gun. I asked her what I was to do with it, but then she began singing erotic sounds, and that dear old diary was simply too much.
Oh, this must be later after he learned how to write. Yeah, I wouldn't want to hear my mom singing erotically either.
This paper is badly crumpled, and it takes time for you to decipher its content. There's only half-written sentences on it. Dear Dad, you useless f***er. Why the did you? You never could. Why is it that the only time you actually did something was to... I never asked you for... Poor old f***. This last bit has been written several times.
Oh, poor guy. Trying to get his feelings about his dad out.
I should begin to keep track of where I hide them, really. I have found another of those weird key cards. How many of those are there? I tried it everywhere I could, but I couldn't find any of the door it's supposed to open. I'll hide it in the meantime in the G in the R, B, R, B, B, R, G, B, B, R. I wouldn't want to answer why I have those, especially if Roland stumbles on it during one of his famous surprise visits.
RBG? Is that like a color code? Huh.
Want to know which hole someone is trying to screw you over? Pay attention to what he isn't saying. Well, figures. Couldn't have done for them, even if I had been a doctor. The whole note is written in a very hesitant writing. I learned a lot today. Genitalias of all sizes and flavor are drawn on the back of the sheet.
Oh god, he probably got into the anatomy books.
I'm getting tired of playing dumb. They probably imagine I couldn't write or read a single word before I came to their library, when I've been keeping a journal since I was 7. Faking illiteracy has been the ticket for a very comfy stay, but it didn't net as much rewards as I hoped. I know they're got weapons. From what I gathered, the access is in the southeastern corner. First floor. Secured, but it's there. Haven't succeeded in picking the lock, and there is no terminal connected to it. There got to be a way in. My time is running out. I'm getting sick of this place. On top of that, I saw some night stalkers roaming outside not too far from my cache. Maybe it's just time for me to leave.
Oh wow, that fucker. Ugh, can't believe that. Faking illiteracy.
To be able to earnestly say something and its contrary without the slightest bit of embarrassment is the path to genius. Always remember how my mom liked to tell my dad often, brought me along when she went excavating old world ruins. Gosh, was I excited when she did that. Taught me everything I had to know about explosives, how to rig them, time and all. I remembered something the other day, though. Something I totally forgot. During one of our expeditions, we had found one of those ultra-sweet weapons, even more old-worldish than the others. Mom spent a while examining those. I couldn't contain myself. Those things were so shiny, they got to bring us some heavy caps.
Despite the guy's deception, he definitely seemed to have some parental issues.
After a while, she placed the weapon down with the rest of them, back in the bottom of the ruin, asked me to stay outside, got out after a while, and pushed her detonator. When I yelled why she destroyed it, she told me that excavating weapons that could kill people one at a time is all fine and dandy, provided you're a little bit careful who you're selling them to. But bringing out weapons that could burn down entire towns? Well, there should have been some rule against that.
Oh wow, some type of deadly prototype weapon and she destroyed it.
A large sentence is awkwardly written, dreadfully smeared even, across this badly stained paper sheet. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my hand and here is my gun.
Never heard that one before.
Now that's quite the pile of papers, probably gibberish written by Darren. You decide to. Read it thoroughly in hopes of finding something remotely useful. Reading such a large amount of almost nonsensical text is quite the ordeal. On one paper, though, something catches your eyes. You're not sure, but there's some possibility that Darren laid down cryptic indications to a nearby spot. You're a bit puzzled, though. If it wasn't for your sharp mind, you would have completely missed it. Darren was obviously not as stupid as it seems. You mark the place on your Pip-Boy. It's not very far from the library.
Huh, okay, I'll check that out.
Sometimes I don't know what to do with all this knowledge. When I think of the stockmen back at the NCR, I can't imagine what they could do with it. They wouldn't even care about any kind of ramification, even any kind of long-term consequence. They would simply use it.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong, especially if you're talking about the NCR government. Well, any government.
Once again, I couldn't make sense of anything that big computer Arthur told me. I still think there's some kind of pattern, some kind of secret hidden in all of his stories, but I just don't know what it is. And I still went through every book on encryption methods that I could find. To no avail, of course. Well, at least I hid one of those strange keycards in a broken terminal there. Roland doesn't bother me when I'm in the computer room anyway, so I should consider hiding more things there.
Maybe I should check the computer room more thoroughly. Oh, he burned this book.
So let's get those card caches right. One on a planter, one with a chessboard, one on a typewriter, one on biology, one on chemistry, one in case of fire, one behind a jukebox. And of course, none of them works.
I think I got some of the printing cards in these areas, but I'll have to take a look. Oh, look.
There is a listing of various items on this sheet, as well as a map. From what you gather, it's not too far from here, south of Hypatia. You mark the place down on your Pip-Boy.
Okay, interesting. Oh, wait. High, as in the tree. Okay.
Oh, you're persistent. I like that. There's a key to the laundry room somewhere in the world. Hopefully you'll find it. It's a small world, after all.
Oh, God. I bet it's a globe. Oh my God, here's the key. Yep, it was next to a globe. Fucker. Well, at least he was honest. I completed it and got the key, so I should be able to get in there. Ah, there's another one of the cards. Hello.
How may I help you?
I had some questions about some of your previous guests.
I will help you as much as I can, as long as you don't ask me to breach medical confidentiality.
Well, that drunk guy you had to kick out, Darren Andretti?
He was one of my patients. As such, there is some information I'm not allowed to tell you.
Fine, tell me something that isn't confidential then.
He was a young man who hadn't reached his 20s yet. By his own admission, he had a restless personality, a temper that didn't go well with community life. That's why he chose to become a prospector. He couldn't read at first, but during his stay here, he worked very hard and quickly became quite literate. Almost too quickly.
Uh-huh. Did you two speak regularly?
As a matter of fact, yes. Even out of our therapy sessions, he would often bring me books for me to read. The first times he asked was because he didn't know how to read. The next because he simply enjoyed hearing me, he said.
What kind of books did he ask you to read?
Poetry and songbooks. It didn't matter to him that I couldn't sing. For some reason, said readings would make Roland come all the way here.
Oh, do you remember one of these songs or poems that made Roland come over?
Yes, I believe I still have one of those around.
Can you read me an excerpt?
Well, why not? I'm enjoying reading poetry to our guests. The thought of you sends me shivery. I'm dressed in lace, sailing down a black reverie. My heart is thrown to the pebbles and the boatmen. All the time I find I'm living in that evening with that feeling of sticky love inside.
What's the title of that book?
The Kick Inside. That's because it's kind of visceral, I suspect.
Helena, he was getting off to it. That's why Roland came over. He was probably too. Thanks.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Ah, here's one of the cards. All right, well, Arthur. Tell me about this Piper fellow.
There are two kinds of poisons. Those that don't kill you and make you stronger, and the others.
Huh. I think that means it was Piper that told the slavers. Could you tell me about Dexter Aldridge?
He was the kind of man who praised butterflies for being gorgeous, yet crushed caterpillars out of disgust.
Yeah, that definitely describes techno fetishes like the Brotherhood. Why don't you tell me why your master sometimes called you Johnson?
Arthur remains silent.
Yeah, too direct a question. James told me an incident with some slavers. Tell me about it.
Arthur remains silent.
Oh, come on. That was open-ended enough, I think. Fine, bye. Okay, I should probably go check out that place. Bye, James. I'll be back. Okay. Now I got the location on my Pip-Boy. Alright, there it is. Let me go check this out. Maybe it'll give me some answers. should be up here. Oh, yep. There's a whole tent. Oh, there's some blood and stuff too. Maybe this will give me an idea of what happened. Some Night Stalker tales. Shit.
This place is a serious blow to the morale. The Pops raised me with tales of the golden era that was the old world. Technology, progress, enlightenment, and whatnot. The more I read from all those books, the more I see how petty and vain it was. What's even more depressing is the fact that our own civilization is trying its utmost to pick the old world's trail where it was, going straight ahead for the same wall it crashed in. Nothing I read makes me think we will ever learn from our history. Since I've been here, I've been asking myself how better off we survivors would be if there wasn't so much of the old world relics to keep us down. They even got a book on how to lobotomize workers to make them more efficient, for f***'s sake. Time to hit the bottle.
I mean, I totally get where he's coming from. A lot of people look with rose-colored glasses towards the past. That must be why he was burning those books. He was burning ones he thought were too dangerous. I still think that's a crime worth banishing him, though. It doesn't solve the actual problem.
If you blew it up and forgot, you silly just... The whole page is written with a very confident handwriting until it ends abruptly, that is. So I guess my big show ends here. Serves me right for picking up the booze, I guess. The good news are, I successfully sneaked out quite a lot of supplies. My only regret being that I failed to break into their weapon room. From what I gathered, they have amassed quite a stash there, especially after killing that slaver gang. Now on top of that, they also confiscated all the C4 I was bringing for emergencies. I won't complain though. They've compensated me most generously. A man's gotta be able to accept all the good luck he can get without regret. It will soon be time to hit the road. There are lots of Night Stalkers in this area, and I wouldn't.
Oh, they probably jumped him and he had to make an escape. I hope he's okay out there somewhere. Honestly, he probably only wanted into the armory to destroy some of the weapons too, any ones he didn't take with him. Well, let me go talk to James, tell him what I found. He was a troubled man. Hey, James.
So, how may I help you?
About Andretti.
Yes?
Well, he wished to rob the library before his newfound hatred for the old world got the best of him.
That is an interesting contradiction. The fact that he finally caved into his emotions towards the old world so much that his original scheme became an afterthought brings me comfort. Whether this experience will be profitable to his development is up to him. I am confident he will ultimately make the best out of this information. Anyway, your work is very beneficial for us. This is a small reward compared to the help you're providing.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so who's my next client?
This case is a little bit different than the others. This time I'll ask you to get the opinion of one of our current residents, a man named Robson.
Whoa, stop right there for a second. Are you saying I'm not alone in here?
Yes, he's still with us. Given his cautious nature, it's not a surprise you haven't met him yet. He always tries to keep clear from new guests, and even from us lately. I thought he stayed here only to sate his curiosity, but given his recent behavior, I'm starting to wonder if there's anything else behind it. From what I gathered, being a ghoul is not the fairest of fates.
Oh God, Roland wrote his name down as skin cancer. Why are you sure he's still in this vault?
For one thing, our food supply has been consumed on a regular basis, and I'm taking into account your own ruthless appetite.
If you say so. How come I haven't seen him even once? I can't imagine someone living here without leaving a trace.
Exactly. Many of our guests leave some kind of trace during their stay here, usually in the bathroom. He should be of no exception. For example, I remember he tends to forget his glasses everywhere. Memory troubles, I believe, and he also has a tendency to say some pretty weird things from time to time.
Weird things? Like what?
Every once in a while, he would stand up there on the second floor, point his finger at me, and make prophetic declarations. Something like, "Autumn leaves never stopped falling," or "The strings are cut, but you still dance." Confusing, I know. Good thing I cannot dream, because I would have had nightmares.
Okay. You could be doing this yourself. You're growing a bit dependent on me, James. You should be careful.
Touché! But it's not as if I didn't try to find him. He must be somewhere I can't reach.
Alright. But I have to know before I confront him, is he dangerous?
I don't know what kind of answer I can give. Does he look dangerous? No. Does he have a knife? Yes. Yes, he does. I should have mentioned that before.
Yeah, maybe. If he has a knife, that makes him dangerous. Does he have any habit, favorite spot, or robot he prefers to talk to?
I really don't see him much. For all I know, he could be hiding in a toilet or behind some bookshelf. I really couldn't find him anywhere. I sometimes hear footsteps in the nearby corridors, though maybe one of my siblings is bound to know something, since we don't have feet. It is kind of suspicious.
Okay. I'll get on it, but I tell you, I don't like the sound of this at all.
I wish you luck anyways.
Well, thank you. Bye. I'll be going.
See you around.
I guess I'll try to find what I can. Someone's hiding in here? I should maybe start with his room. Roland has his name down, so he must have a room. Oh, there's the printing card. There we go. Wait, this wasn't here.
I have no mouth, and I must scream. The Catcher in the Rye.
Oh, this is the one Delilah read.
Thanks, Roland. You were right. I did enjoy myself. I understand why you've been pushing me to read this. It's very like you. Here's a little something for you in return. Enjoy yourself. I'll be in the classroom for a while if you want to talk about it. And if someone asks for me, please tell them I still don't wish to see anyone.
A classroom? Hey, Roland.
Back for more? Remember, I don't need to sleep. I can do this all day.
Could you tell me about this Robson guy?
Robson? Oh, you mean skin cancer? Yeah, not here.
It's kind of fucked up calling a ghoul skin cancer.
Hey man, if you can't joke about things like that, you'll go crazy. Crazy.
It's important that I know where he is.
No, actually, the other way around, pal. It's important that you don't.
Okay then, I'll leave it at that for now.
At last. Now get lost. You're shedding your filthy skin cells all over the place.
Uh-huh. Goodbye, Roland. Glasses. James said he leaves his glasses around. And some syringes?
There's something wrong with the syringe. First of all, you were pretty sure it wasn't here before. Then, as you pick it up, you notice that there is still some small amount of medic dripping from the otherwise bloody tip of the needle. Maybe Helena knows something about this.
I'll have to ask her. I could check the classroom too. Did say he would be there. Well, no one's in here. Oh! There's more stuff left behind. A crutch? Some more syringes.
My true name is Wai Zhiyang. I've been living in America's remains far longer than I did in my own country. I don't feel American. I don't feel Chinese either. I am a ghoul, and I owe my life to these ravaged features twisted by radiations. They saved me from the brutal executions that ensued the war. I survived somehow, until one day, one man saw through my disguise and faked muteness. He taught me how to speak, read, and write English. Being from one side or another doesn't mean anything now, he told me. I didn't agree. I was young, and thought we lost the war. He was still my enemy. I despised him, of course, for being so quick to forget and forgive. But it was in my interest to let him help me.
Oh shit, an old Chinese ghoul. I've never gotten to talk to somebody from that side of the war. The last time I met Chinese ghouls, they were all shoot on sight. Oh, hey! Hey, stop shooting. Come on. Damn it.
Under my mentor's tutelage, I worked hard to erase any hint of my upbringing in my behavior and my speech until I was ready to stride the American wastelands alone. I must confess I left him in less than desirable condition. I didn't care at that time. I hated him even more for making me one of them. Time passed until one day I decided to take up his name as my own, as an alias. Twisted sense of humor, maybe. Years later, I eventually heard someone tell me, "Thank you, Robson." I lived a deplorable life. I didn't expect any kind of gratitude anymore. The tears I wept that day, well, they made me reconsider a lot of things.
It seems he's learned a lot. He doesn't like that he ran out on the guy that taught him how to live in the American wasteland. Pretty tragic. More medics. He must be in bad condition. Left behind more reading glasses and a crutch this time. I'm gonna go talk to Helena. Hello.
How may I help you?
I have some questions about some of your previous guests.
I will help you as much as I can.
I heard that I wasn't your only guest at the moment. Who is this Robson fellow?
Robson? He has been staying here for some time now, and despite having showed a tremendous interest for this place, he is very discreet. I have sporadic contact with him, even if he is my patient, so I may have to withhold some information from you. Confidentiality, you see.
Disclose what you can, then?
I believe that before he came here, he earned his life as a musician. He was traveling from New Vegas to Prim when he spotted some raiders. By trying to bypass their camp, he found our vault.
Apparently he told James some weird things. Is he delusional or something?
He is not. All I can tell you is that there are moments where he is not much himself. He is not dangerous, though. Please be patient if you meet him.
Maybe you should consider you're asking for a second medical opinion. I may know something you don't.
I must confess that I can't seem to do very well with him. All I can do is provide him Med-X for the pain. He is developing a brain tumor I have trouble diagnosing. Apparently it has something to do with his ghoul condition. He has also reported various hallucinations.
I don't have a lot of experience with brain tumors. I know there's a popular belief that ghouls can regress to a feral state, but I've had a lot of experience with ghouls, and it seems well established by experts on the matter that ghouls do not typically become feral unless introduced to some external factor, i.e. when you're irradiated, you either die, go feral, or not. But it's possible that dealing with this brain tumor was made more difficult by his ghoul condition.
One of our previous guests reported that some ghouls were suffering from such a condition. I hope a cure will be found. Many ghouls are the living memory of the past.
Yeah, well, maybe if I knew a little bit more, I might be able to help him when the need arises.
You do have a point. I can't tell you what or why, but he is suffering from a very difficult condition and is under heavy medication. He is prey to violent headaches and mild hallucinations.
Okay, well, I'll work with what you told me. Thanks for your time.
Thank you for your attention.
Oh wait, I found several empty syringes among Robson's belongings, scattered all over the place.
Empty syringes? How did he get so many of those? I am the only one administering his doses, and the access to the storage room is heavily secured.
Well, what did those syringes contain?
A Med-X derivative. One daily dose should be enough to keep the pain at bay.
What are the risks here?
I don't know if he took more than one dose at a time. If he did, he could be in danger. He regularly complained that one dose wasn't enough, so chances that he took more than he should are high.
How did he get this?
I don't know how, but he must have succeeded in breaking into our medical storeroom somehow. But the only access point is restricted, and he couldn't possibly have made it through the ventilation systems. Once this matter is resolved, we'll have to ask him how he managed to do it.
What do we do now?
I don't know how much Med-X he took. In any case, we should find him quickly. Tell Roland that Robson is in danger. Show him the proof. He should tell you where he is and give you access to his room.
Okay, I'll go. Shit. Okay, Roland, I need you to stop being an obnoxious asshole for 2 seconds.
Back for more? Remember, I don't need to sleep. I can do this all day.
Here's the proof Robson is risking an overdose. I have no time for your games. Give me the key.
Yeah, Helena told me on the interphone. The guy's in room number 2. If you're gonna go help him, you better take this key and hurry the hell up.
I have no time to discuss this further with you, but trust me, you haven't heard the last of it.
Ugh.
Fuck you. Okay, 2. Shit. I was too late. Fucking hell. Oh, there's more information here.
Someone came in yesterday. A mercenary, a traveler, a raider. I don't know. The stranger reeks of the outside world violence, and I can't bring myself to face him or her. I thought this over. I will stay here and wait until the stranger goes away. Good thing I broke into the infirmary. The pain got worse recently, and I can't abide by respecting the doses Helena prescribed me anymore. The old world was a twisted and terribly wrong society. To a point, its remains are still crippling us today. Earth was scorched, order dismantled, life almost extinct. Yet one of the few things that survived the war undamaged was weapons. Enough weapons to kill the survivors 1,000 times over. All is not lost, though. Finding this library gave me back some kind of hope for mankind. Hope that good things will sprout from the wisdom buried here. But I can't go back outside, face other people. Not anymore. I'm happy to stay here for the time being. Ghoul's extended lifespan is hard to bear, and I'm pained to say it comes with a whole lot of problems human beings shouldn't have to deal with.
Oh, his ghoulification probably meant he survived a lot longer than any normal person would have with the brain tumor. That must have been incredibly painful. That also must have been why he spouted random things at James. He must have had some bad days. Detonator? At least he had some books to keep him company. I'm guessing the extra dose put him out of his misery at least. I better go tell them what happened. I really wanted to talk to a person from China. Hey, Roland.
Back for more? Remember, I don't need to sleep. I can do this all day.
I'd like to have a word with you about what happened to Robson.
Oh, this is gonna be rich. I can tell.
Why the hell didn't you tell me earlier where he was? I might have helped him.
Because he specifically asked that I couldn't tell anyone where he was or give the key to anyone, okay, pal? Following orders. On top of that, Helena told me to be nice to that anxious little turd, so I did. She feared he would snap under too much stress and totally lose his shit, so, going against every dumb line of code in me, I proverbially shut my mouth and acted in the least disruptive manner possible. You know, you humans nearly wiped yourselves out with this cunty moral superiority, and here you are, still at it.
You are responsible for his death, Rolo.
Are you fucking kidding me? Don't put that shit on my plate, pal. There's plenty of guilt to go around.
Fine. Sorry. You're just incredibly frustrating. You guys have no idea how to deal with human beings.
Oh, right. Because you humans, with the infinite petty passive-aggressive internet arguments and deadly territorial struggles over dirt of all fucking things, proves you know how to deal with yourselves. Whatever.
At least some of us do. I've heard enough.
Yeah, well, me too. Poor skin cancer.
Goodbye.
Come back soon.
Hey.
It's terrible what happened. I don't know where to start.
Oh, Roland told you over the intercom? Don't feel bad for what happened. This is the result of several lifetimes of dread and suffering.
You were kind, but it is my responsibility. I have to learn from what happened today, to never let it happen again.
He was in constant suffering, and the only thing that helped him killed him. Might not have been the worst outcome. I'll talk to you later.
Anytime.
James, I've got some bad news.
So, how may I help you?
I found Robson. The man's dead.
That's awful. For goodness sake, what happened?
He took one too many doses of Med-X.
How could we have let this happen? How the heck did we let this happen? And how is it that neither of us saw this coming?
Just stop it, okay? All you can do is learn this lesson and make sure you won't let it happen again. You could have tried to talk to him more. Maybe set up a plan to end his life on his own terms. He was in a lot of pain.
Pretty easy for you to say. It is our responsibility to watch over the well-being of our guests. You're probably right. I hope I'll be more mindful of our next guests and prevent future misfortunes. By the way, totally unrelated, are you okay? Life's good? Would you like something to drink? Oil, perhaps?
It's nice of you to ask, James, but I'm okay.
I'm happy you are. Here, take this. I have another favor to ask you, if you're still interested. Don't hesitate to talk to me about it.
Okay,